Hi there, I've just been given this Martin Smith guitar and outwardly it looks like a fairly reasonable Dobro copy. This shape is a little wrong and there are one or two things, the electrics I put in, so don't ignore those for the moment. But it feels quite playable. The neck's a little narrow but not unpleasant. The fretting isn't brilliant, but for a £130 guitar, which I think these are new, something like that, it's really quite good until you play it. And the original sound of this was very disappointing, very weedy, not what a resonator should sound like at all. So, took the cover plate off, and inside I found a piece of wood that the resonator sat on. This is a piece of very, very cheap plywood. It has lots of voids in it, it's weak, and it's got bits missing. The router had sort of gone in deep here, and there are lots of shoulders and steps, not very good. The well, that on a real Dobro gives some support, is made of this equally thin, horrible ply, delaminating, not glued together properly. So they've spent a lot of money making this look like a really nice guitar, and then just thrown some rubbish in the resonator. The actual cone looks okay. That's a Dobro cone, or there's a big thumbprint in it there. Feels a bit stiff, a bit heavy, and the resonator is not in the centre of the spider. The hole in the spider has been drilled off centre, and so one foot just misses this lip which it should be sitting on really nicely. There's no way around that. You'd have to fill the aluminium with something and then re-drill it. Not something that's really practical. So that's no good. So what did I do to make it sound better? Firstly, I ripped all the well out. Then I made some good quality birch plywood rings. This is similar to the top ring I used, but in fact it's slightly thicker, this one. This is the top one was 1/4 of an inch, the second one would be 3/4 of an inch, and the bottom one 1/4. And I made a 9.5 inch well to fit inside of a Dobro, which is normally sort of 10.5 inches. And this means that I can now put a Dobro resonator in, or I can put a 9.5 inch resonator in. So it's something like the old fiddle-edge Dobros, which have that stepped well, which in theory, unless you've got a stepped spider, you can use both types of resonator. Anyway, that goes, it's too big to go in the hole. What I did was I cut a slot in it like that, and that gives you enough leeway to twist it in. And if you then offset the 3 cuts and then put a piece of veneer in the cut when you glue it all up, it's fine and makes a very solid well. So here we are. What does it sound like? Well, not plugged in. It's got it's quite loud. Not as loud as some resonators, but certainly louder than most normal acoustics. The top notes they're quite sweet. The bottom note, they got a bit of growl about them. If you play single note stuff, it's quite sweet sounding. The reason I put a pickup on is that I go to quite a few jams, and they're very rarely a good microphone. Often there's a drum kit, which means if you've got a small microphone, it picks up a lot of spill from the drums. So I like to have a magnetic pickup. It's the cheapest way of doing it. This is a plastic bobbined Fender pickup. The plastic bobbin means that you can push the pole pieces up and down, and don't do that on a normal Fender pickup because you'll kill it. But it means that I can plug it in. I'll show you what I mean. On a normal standard Fender pickup, the wound G string, particularly on this, which is a bronze wound strings, the wound G would be very, very quiet. But on this, it's fairly well balanced because I've pushed the B string down a lot and the E string down a little. But of course, in this case, it is in fact a D string because I'm tuned to open G. John Lee Hooker stuff. Or so there you are, a Martin Smith that actually sounds okay. If you want a guitar that looks like a dobro and you want to hang it on your wall, good guitar to get, very cheap. If you want something that sounds like a dobro and you don't have any DIY skills with resonators, I wouldn't really get one of these. Anyway, have fun.